Welcome, gorgeous people, all my darlings. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Wednesdays with Wallis, Psychic Medium. Here she is. She's getting all comfy. Why is she getting so comfortable? Because there's just so much going on and so much to talk to you about. Okay, all right. Now, the first thing I want to do is say to you, I am going to do an abridged version, not as much as the whole thing last week where I got into doing numerology around an 8. And thank you for all of those people who answered about the webinar or workshop that I'd like to do, which I am now going to go ahead and put together and do for you, so that you can join that and be part of that, and we'll probably have that in next month later, sometime next month, if I can organise myself and get it together. It'll be a 3-hour workshop. It'll fit your time zone in the US and overseas, wherever you are. And hopefully it'll fit with some of us Aussies, but because a big percentage of all of you beautiful people that come along are in the US or Canada or those places, and overseas, England, I want to, accommodate you. So it'll be a 3-hour workshop. And at this point of time, it's not going to be expensive. It's going to be inexpensive for you, and it'll be fabulous. And we'll be, taking care of that. I'm looking at all my notes here and looking at the things I'm going to do. As I said, some smaller abridged readings today, pardon me, on the numerology, the numbers. So I'm going to do 3, 7, and 11. Not quite sure I'll get them in that order, but I'll try and, keep them in order. So that's a 3, 7, and an 11. And I'll give you a little bit of inroads on those people. I've got my notes here, so if you see me putting my head down, I'm just running through my notes just to make sure that I just cover off on some things around that. I'm going to do my normal, I'm going to pick out some readings for people. I've read all of your comments and I've read things. I am going to pick out and do some readings, but I'm going to do them a little bit differently. I'm not going to pick out people's names and things like that. I'm just going to say, I'm just going to pick out a place. I'm going to pick out a place and say, if you're in this particular place, in this wherever, well then, this is for you. And hopefully I'll have nailed it in that respect. The other thing I'm going to do is, first up, is promote the clicking on the link and subscribing to our channel, because it helps us grow. It does help us grow, and it also helps, give us some numbers and create, a bigger audience and, do a whole lot of things. Because I'm not going to get into the whole thing around all the algorithms and all the rest of the stuff. Some of you may or may not know about those things. Doesn't matter. The whole point is I'm saying subscribe because it's important, because the numbers of subscribers and all that sort of stuff relate back to how much we get into this algorithm area and how much we get promoted and all that sort of stuff. So if we don't have those things building and you're not commenting and we're not getting that type of traction, well, then we don't get pushed out there to more people. So click on the link below. The other bit of housekeeping that I want to cover off on is that when I produced my Soul Wisdom Oracle cards, which I use, these wonderful cards here, the Soul Wisdom Oracle cards, when I produced those, at the time I channeled them, and I also channeled a guidebook with them. For those of you who have bought the cards, and I think I found some more recently tucked away where I had put them in a bag somewhere. So anyway, the whole point is I found some more cards, more packs of cards. So I do have, I think, another 3 or 4 for sale. At the moment, we may do a reprint on those, but that's sort of almost the last of them. But I did channel the cards in this booklet with the cards in it. It's the Oracle card guidebook. Now, point is I'm making to you is that I've redone all this. I'm redoing the book at the moment. My virtual assistant is doing all of that. And we're redoing the book, bigger cards, bigger book. And the book will hopefully be finished this week. And it'll be up on Kindle, so it'll be a really, really good price. It'll also be available off the boldnotold.com.au website. But more importantly to you, and we will be putting this up when this goes up, we'll put up a bit of a promo for it as well, because what we're going to do is for everyone who books a 30-minute reading, if you book a 30-minute reading, you're going to receive a copy of the ebook for free, and we'll make sure you get that, because I do use my cards, and you'll be able to have a copy of the book with the cards, and you'll be able to do all that sort of thing for yourself, and it's a freebie. So I'm giving that away as a launch of the book when it comes out, and that should be this week. But if you book from this video, Wednesdays with Wallis, this week, Wednesday the 17th, if you book a reading from that date, we'll make sure, and if it's only has to be a 30-minute reading. If you book a reading, whether it's 30 minutes or 60, but it only needs to be a 30-minute reading. So if you book a 30-minute reading, you'll get a copy of the ebook for free. Okay? Now, that's my little bit of shameless self-promotion, and looking forward to, and we'll be giving you more information on that when we launch it. Not this week, we're not launching it, but the next week we might give you all the information and the dates and where to go and book for the webinar for the numbers numerology workshop. Now, I'm going to do these card readings first. I'll do them a little bit differently. I'm going to do these card readings. But what I want to talk to you about today is this first. I'm going to talk to you about this first, darlings, because this is really, really important. They've been at me. You know me, I've got this channel going, and I don't want it to be doom and gloom. I don't do all the predictions around, elections and royal families, and not interested. And I'm not interested. They're everywhere else, and there's plenty of it. So if you're looking for that, hustle on over there and grab that stuff for yourself. It's just, to me, it's another, it's another area to just get a bit of gossip. Is it true? I don't know. But anyway, for me, it's just a gossipy thing. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in you being given from my guides, and they're certainly giving me that. They've been at me this week, so I'm going to give it to you as I have gotten it myself. So the big thing that's come up is this thing about we choose. You choose. You choose your life. I'm a bit on it today. I did a reading this morning for a lovely lady, gorgeous, gorgeous lady. She's just absolutely beautiful, and a beautiful lady, and I mean beautiful into the bargain. And poor thing, I really, I was a bit heavy on her, really. So sorry, darlings, if I was a little bit heavy on you. I didn't mean to be, but They were giving me so much stuff. So I'm a bit on my toes today. They've been a bit on my back about all this. So the thing is about choose. Now, it is difficult. We are living in a very, very, very challenging world. I think right now we have about, first time in history ever, we have about 70 countries, 70 areas in the world that are coming up to elect new leaders and new people, and it's a really interesting, trying time. And it is trying. I'm not saying it isn't, but it is also, on a positive note, there's many of us being called to help. Many of us being called. There's a lot of seekers, and many of us are being called to be the source or the sorcerers. So, and I don't mean that to say them and us. It's absolutely not what I mean, and I hope you get that, darlings. I don't, but I do mean that there's many of us being called as light beings to come forward and share information, share what's being given to us, share what we know, share that information, to lead, to help, to be there, to lean on, and to be part of that. And I hope that you see me as being that, because that's what I'm here for. I don't turn up every week for me. I love to get dressed up. I'll get dressed up anytime, darlings. But I like to get dressed up, but I love turning up for you. Okay, so this week's a bit hard hitting. I'm going to be a bit hard on you, sweethearts, because I'm going to give you a little roadmap, right? You got that? This is it's a biggie really, but it's not a lot. It's just something I want you to do that they've given me, that I want to share with you about how to handle these difficult and hard times. Okay, so one is, and the most important thing is, you choose. Okay, you choose. No matter what the media is saying to you, no matter what's being said by politicians, no matter what's going on, no matter what people are saying, and we've all become a bit numb to that. We won't get into what that actually means or how that's explained in, technical terms or whatever, because there's a name for it, where we basically become numbed. An example of that is that, during Holocaust times, when people were taken with one bag, they were taken away from their homes, people around them who just could not cope with what was going on. It was just too much of a shock to the system, too much rocking at the boat, too much against everything that they understood, or the way in which they lived. To cope with that, they told themselves that those people were better off than them. They were being relocated and they were going to a better place. Of course, we all know that simply wasn't true. It just wasn't true. But to cope with it, that was a coping mechanism. And we're doing that now. We're doing that now, darlings. We're doing it big time now. We're telling ourselves all sorts of stories around all the crap that's going on. I nearly called it shit then. And it is. All the crap that's taking place, all the stuff that's going on at the moment in the world, with all the things that we're telling ourselves stories around it that simply aren't true, or we're burying our heads in the sand of pretending it's not happening. And it is. Okay, so that's the bad news. Okay, that's I'm not going to give you all the bad news, but that is the bad news, that we are doing that and we need to stop doing it. So the way in which I'm going to help you, and I'm just looking at some notes because I've been writing furiously about some of this stuff. The way I want to help you with that is this. I want you to ask yourself these questions. With all the stuff that you're being told, either from a legal perspective or from a political perspective or from whatever else, pardon me, news, stories, conversations, people around you, all we're being inundated, dumped on big time with it all. I want you to ask yourself these questions. Really important. Does any of this being said, does any of this that's going on, does any of it, does it enhance, protect, or take care of these things? Creativity, your own creativity, your own uniqueness, your own you, and how you express yourself in the world. Your freedom, does it enhance? Does it give you more or secure your freedom of choice, your freedom that you have? Sovereignty, does it take care of the sovereignty? And does it protect your imagination? Okay, I'm going to go back over those things. I'm just going to tell them to you one by one. Creativity, freedom, sovereignty, imagination. Do all of those things that are being said, fed to you, done, brandished around, put all over the place, are those things? Are those things protected and taken care of? Are those things, are they intact? All right? Or will all of that or will the choosing of those things, some of those things, the things, will our choices then affect our and see us have a loss of our spirituality and a contraction of all that we know we know? All of our innate knowingness and our uniqueness, will there be a contraction of that? That's the only two questions to ask yourself. Will it enhance, maintain, give you your freedom and sovereignty and imagination and creativity and allow you to express your uniqueness? Or will all of this be a contraction? I don't want to get upset about it. I want you to ask that question of yourself because it's very, very important, because right now we're in a position where we're all seeking to express our unique gifts. We're seeking our uniqueness. We're seeking to be more, not maintain, not tread water on, but to be more of our unique us, our who we are uniquely. And it seems to me that we're in this world right now where we're being called upon not to normalise nonsense. Go back and ask yourself those questions. Will you do that for me, darlings? Because I think it's very important, and I'm just a small voice. But I think that we all collectively together become one big voice. And as you know, this whole show is not scripted. It's very unscripted. I never know what I'm going to talk about before I get on the air. I never know what I'm going to read for people before I actually, this morning I got some stuff coming while I was saying before the reading, before I went on air with the reading, I always do a little prayer, and in the prayer I got some stuff coming. And when I got into the reading, I, shared that with the lovely young woman that I was, talking to. So I never know. I never know what's coming. Okay, all right. Now, the numbers. Let's go to the numbers. So 3, 3, 3, 3. You're on the anchoring on the mind plane. When we do our workshop, we'll be talking about that as planes: the physical, the soul, and the mental plane, the mind plane. And this 3 sits on the mind plane. It anchors one end of it. So you're thinking people. That goes without saying, doesn't it? You're into thinking and reasoning more than you are into the intuitive. So your whole life is built around, this is you. You're a 3, okay? Your whole thing is about thought processes, and your own personality is affected by your thoughts. Everything is expressed through your thinking. It's all about thinking. Okay, here's a couple of challenges for you, though. There's a couple of challenges. You, as a 3, you can get into being very critical. You can wear people down with your criticism because you're thinking. So you think it's okay, pardon the pun. You think it's okay. You think it's all honky-dory and it's all good. It isn't, right? It isn't, darlings. You can be a pain in the, but you're brilliant, okay? Offset that. But you are brilliant because you sit on this mind plane. You anchor this mind plane. You're quick. You can have a great sense of humour. You're quick off the mark. You're ahead on the thinking, okay? Because that's you as a 3. You're brilliant. You're brilliant people. You're just amazing. But you have to be careful because you can be very overcritical, and everything that you do is all honky-dory as long as everybody is, on your wavelength and, pretty much do what you want them to do. That's a negative side of a 3. So I'm going to suggest that, you might develop a little bit of patience. Now, the people who are 3s, famous people who are 3s, are people like Fidel Castro and Bill Cosby and Vivian Leigh, the famous actress, she was a 3, and Katharine Hepburn, she was a 3. So they were easy to see it when you then go back and look at these people, especially, the people like Fidel Castro and Vivian Leigh and these actors. You can see this expression in their lives of the 3. So you are a mind plane thinking and reasoning person. Get my notes out here that I wrote, because the next one I'm going to talk about are 7s. Oh, I love you, 7s. You know why I love you? I think King Charles is a 7. I think from memory he's a 7. But you 7s are you're great teachers and you love sharing. You're great teachers. You love sharing. You're and look at King Charles. Your everything in life comes from your experience of life. Eh? Life's lesson book, we'll call it. That's you as 7s. You're really about that. You love teaching and sharing. As because for you, that's the consummate means of learning. You love to learn. You love to, you love to do all those things. So human growth are related to, all of this physical expression symbolised by this 7 on the birth chart. When we get to that and you learn about that, it sits on the physical plane. So you are very about, those things, about, doing things. Let me just have a little look here. You tend to have come into life because your soul, you, that you don't know about, is ready to take a major step in life. And so people as a ruling 7 are people who often come to do that. They often come to have this big, step forward. And you absolutely do learn through personal involvement. Okay, that's just what you do as people. And but having said that, you've got to learn your way. Okay, you can't be pushed into learning, in ways that other people want you to learn. You tend to want to learn in your way because of this need in you for involvement, personal involvement and expression. So if that's not an option for you, if you're stifled in that way, then you'll really feel it, because you'll have, some real, problems around that. You are the helpers of humankind. You're the practical teachers, because you're this practical number. Okay, you're the practical number. So I've said a little bit about your tendencies that you have to get over. You don't like to be taught. You want to teach, but that's something you have to get over, because you need to, when you mature in that, you need to learn, and you need to learn from others. It's not just about you teaching. So, recommended development. You can be slow learners, so don't worry about that if you're a bit of a slow learner. And when you're imparting knowledge to others, you learn in that, and you learn about your own spirituality and your own connectedness. You know, I'm just having a little read if there's anything I missed. So, practical personal experience, don't like external discipline, you're assertive, philosophical, and a humanitarian, and you can incur in your life a high level of self-sacrifice because of this tendency in this area around your number. Marilyn Monroe, Peter Tchaikovsky, Cole Porter, Conrad Hilton, Germaine Greer were all ruling number 7s. Okay, you got that? Bit about you 7s. I'm going through my notes here to get to this area of a ruling number 11. Okay, I want to touch on the 11 this week, because 11s are master soul numbers. It's one of the master soul numbers. There's been quite a few of you pop up on my comments and feed. You have a high level of spirituality, you people, because you're an 11. Now, that doesn't mean that all of you 11s express that. I know people who are 11s, and they're not expressing that at all. They are totally unaware of the same as 22s. They can really miss the mark. My father was a 22. He totally missed it. He came and went, and it was gone. It passed him by. And yes, a lot of people who are 11s fail to reach, live up to the potential and, develop it, which is quite sad, because you do have a unique, you 11s have a unique potential for awareness and you know, areas of the higher self. Um, okay, so personal growth, spiritual upliftment, and you'll be listening to this if you're an 11. So I'm just wanting to get you a little more information on this. But I put my notes in here, but yes, that's not, hang on, it's having its little hickey, and we'll just have to go back to it. Okay, all right, no, okay, all right, you little bugger. It's doing hickey things to me, which I don't like. So let me just see if I can get this going. And no, it's not going to happen. Okay. All right. Let me just, when my little computer that I put my notes on does not very nice things to me. So let me just see if I can find my okay, all right. So I wanted to give you some more information about you 11s, but I might have to come back to that for you 11s because yes, all right. Well, let me see. I might have to come back to the whole thing around an 11. We'll next week I'll touch on it again for you so that I come back to more information and who those 11s are, because I don't remember everything. I write it all down and I have all my notes, and then when my notes and area that I'm, you know, focusing on go kapoof, I'm, you know, buggered really. But anyway, I don't want to hinge on that because there's more to get through, and I want to do these readings for those of you who, but 11s, I want you to hang in there on it because there's more to tell you about yourself. But I can tell you, you're highly spiritual people. But unfortunately, there's a lot of you who miss the mark. But I wouldn't say that applies to you that have tuned in to this. I'd say, pardon the pun, but you're one of the lucky ones, darling, that you've tuned in on this podcast because you're wanting to know things. Now, got a couple of cards fell out there for this person I'm going to be reading for. Now, I'm going to pick out, if you are in Idaho, I'm going to just pick areas, okay? Idaho in the US, I don't know who you are, but if you're in Idaho and you relate to this reading that I'm going to do for you, because I like to do them this way, it's just a bit random and it's a bit out of the, you know, off the cuff, and it's a goodie. Okay, all right. Now, okay, all right. Activating awareness is the card that's come up for you. You're in Idaho in the USA. That's come for you. And what's come for you are these two things. Consciousness, they fell out, and this whole area here of the butterfly spirit. Now, we talked recently about the butterfly spirit. So what's coming for me? Okay. Gooey mess. Okay, you've been spending your time in the gooey mess. You've been spending your time saying to yourself, what the, where am I going? What am I doing? What the hell? What the? And it's about rising out of that gooey mess. And I feel that some of the things that I said today, go back to the beginning of the tape, or this podcast and listen to some of the things I said initially about asking yourself those types of questions. And the questions that, the things that I gave you to ask, I gave you in relation to all of the external things that are going on around you. But I want you to take those, whoever you are, I want you to take those, and I want you to take those in personally to yourself in your own life. You have a situation going on around you where you need to ask yourself those questions, sweetheart. Do they apply to you in relation to some stuff that's going on around you? People, you've been in this gooey mess. You've got all this stuff. You don't know which way to go. You don't know whether, you don't know your head from your feet. I nearly said the other word. But darlings, you're in a bit of a quandary over all this. Go back to the beginning and take that question and ask yourself those questions, will you? Ask yourself those. And the other one, does whatever's going on, does the answer, does the choice that you will make, is what I'm getting. Thank you. The choice that you will make, will it enhance your spiritual awareness and your spiritual growth? Okay, that's it. You know I love your comments. So you can all, whoever you are, you can give me a comment, and you can say something if you think that applies to you. And if you're getting it at a level and you think it applies to you, then it does. Just be open, all right? Don't try to think because I didn't put a name to it that it's not you. Because if you get it, then it's yours. Okay? I just want to say that to you. Now, I'm going to do one more reading only, and this reading I'm going to do for somebody in England. Now, the first thing that came to me was I got this picture of a garden, vegetable garden, Kent. You know, one of the thing that came into my mind was England and England's garden, England's supply of vegetables. And from history, I think that's, Kent. This one was determined to come out in coded messages. Ooh, that's a biggie. Okay, this is for you, and you either live in Kent or close by. Now, I don't know the areas. I don't have a bloody clue, but you'll know who you are and you'll know what that's about. And I'm going to read that for you, that card. Vibrational energy is the other card that came out for you, but more importantly is this one, because it fell out, encoded messages, and I saw it sitting under some other cards, and it's been poking its head out and it wanted to come. Now, because I don't remember all that I had written for these cards, I often read off just the energy and the awareness of them, but I want to read this card for you because it's called encoded messages. So you're in England, you're living near Kent. Within all human DNA, the strands that make up the very existence of human life, science has found the existence of all creation. What this means is humans and the divine are one. They are the same. All of life is created in the image and likeness of divine essence. We are one with ultimate creation. It's important for you. Get it? This knowledge, this understanding changes everything. The understanding of which can dramatically alter the way we see ourselves and others. The time has arrived for you to forge a greater connection to spirit slash source, to allow divine essence into your own beingness. Everything arrives into our lives in perfect space and time. So if you're questioning something around you, it's all good. It's perfect space and time. There are no mistakes. All that Spirit Source does is by divine plan. If Spirit Source is acting out a divine plan, then we too are part of that divine plan. The card is asking you to allow your intuitive knowingness to guide you on this path you have chosen to walk on, whether it be a change in work, the place where you live, or relationship changes. All is well and perfect, just like your connection to Spirit Source is perfect also. Know this, you are Spirit Source, divine creation. You are created for success, endowed with the seeds of greatness, and you stand in your power. Be what it is you want to be. Got that? Whoever you are? Does that tell you what it is and what you're about? I bet it sure does. So I'd like to hear from you. I'd like to hear from you all. Make comments. Follow that little path, that little criteria I've given you. It'll be really, really helpful in these challenging times, because it's going to become a bit more rocky and it's going to become a bit more challenging. But you know I'm about the positives of life, and I want you to have all those, positive things that are going on. So, be positive about everything that's going on. I hope that was beneficial for you, darlings. I so enjoy being here with you. I so enjoy you. I do this. I try and not make it too long, because I don't want to bore you, and I don't want to, have you not hanging about because it's too bloody long and I've said too much. But love from me. I care about you. I want you to have the most amazing life, and you come with me when I finish this, and hopefully to some of you, I go with you. Hi, Christy. Hello, darlings. Glad to see you here. And please, everyone, make comments. Christy's my lovely lady in Minnesota who I did a reading for. And I'm going to go and stay with Christy at some time. In fact, I'm going to do something in America. It's coming. America and Canada or England, or it's all coming. There's something going on that's coming. Love you all, and I want you to have the most amazing and blessed week ahead, and I want you to be fabulous. Most of all, I want you to follow those steps that I gave you, because I think they'll, help you cope with some of the crap that's going on around you. Love from me, hugs from me also. Take care. See you next week on Wednesdays with Wallis Psychic Medium. Bye for now.